Hey everybody, hope you're having a beautiful day or evening or night or whatever time it is for you right now. Just wanted to touch on a few things today. Firstly, today at my corporate job, they finally have made it mandatory to where you have to report to the company whether you've been jabbed or not for their little internal registry or whatever. And this put me in an awkward position because, like I've said in a couple other videos, I'm a lead for over third shift. So because it's over third shift, I'm not in charge of many people, admittedly, but you know, it's still a few. And so I had to be the guy to also tell the people on my team that, hey, our company is forcing us to tell them whether we've been jabbed or not. Don't shoot the messenger. And, you know, that sucks. But what I ended up doing was I worded it in such a way that it was pretty clear that I was against it. I emphasized pretty heavily that the actual mandate itself from the government, Biden's mandate, is currently on pause in the courts. It is not valid. And, you know, if tyranny wins the day, then it will be later on. But for now, at least, it's on pause. So I was sure to emphasize that. And then I also told them, hey, look, if I try to influence you guys one way or the other on this, I get shit canned. But just want to emphasize that it's not my decision to make. And yeah, but then after this, because you know, basically the point is I was really trying to balance on that line. I was really walking on thin ice, however you want to say it. I was trying my best to tell them this is all fucked without actually saying it, so I can keep my job. But then one of my employees asked me one-on-one whether or not I'm going to get the jab or support it. I mean, as a lot of you on this awakened path know, we can't lie anymore. We're losing our ability to, and I mean, thank God for that, but also in times like this, it's inconvenient. I just had to tell her straight up. I was like, fuck no, I'm not gonna get it. Fuck no, I'm not gonna get it, and I'm not gonna tell the company whether or not I'm getting it either. And that's true. I had to tell my team members that the company is metaphorically, you know, holding the gun to our heads about this shit. But I did, personally, I reached out to our HR department and was like, look, I'm against this morally, I'm against this on religious grounds, and to clarify that real quick, I do consider myself spiritual, not religious, but, you know, the mainstream people, just calling it religion is a lot simpler, we'll put it that way. So I was like, look, this is against everything I believe in, so I'm not telling you whether I got the jab or not. So I haven't heard back on that yet, so we'll see if I've doomed myself or not. But, you know, it's a bittersweet day. I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi a little bit. I feel like like I've lowered my lightsaber and I'm like, just strike me down, man. Just fucking whatever, man. I'm done with this shit. Destroy me if you gotta destroy me, I guess. So, we'll see what they say back to me on that. Who knows? My hope is that they won't do anything for now while the actual mandate itself is still in limbo. I would like to be able to continue having a job and paying my bills and having shelter and food and stuff, so here's hoping. But I will get shit canned anyway if they ever find out I'm telling my employees to not fucking take the vaccine and stuff like that. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point is standing up for what's right and just. But anyway, I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this. I guess because I want to vent to somebody, and that somebody is all of you. So, yay for that. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on that. If I do end up losing my job, there's a chance that I might have to stop all of this for a time. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It all depends on the circumstances what ends up happening. Trying to live in the now in every moment, so I'm trying not to think about the future too much, you know. But on a far more interesting note, a channel that I started following relatively recently called Barefoot Sungazer, I believe. She shared a video from another channel called, I think it's called Voyage, and that one showed a really fascinating video about the origins of our situation being this interdimensional invasion of the body snatchers kind of scenario that we find ourselves in, this Twilight Zone hell we kind of find ourselves in. And that's not to say it isn't super beautiful and blah 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 as well, guys. Yes, it is. It is. There's lots of love and beauty in the world, but there's also a lot of nightmare hell too, okay? But anyway, I thought the video was very fascinating and enlightening, and it reminded me a lot of, well, one part of it in particular. She talks about, the speaker in the video talks about the villains, the Legion of Doom, as I like to call them, the you know, the Satan, the Anunnaki, the Draconians, whatever, the Greys, whatever, the bad guys. Talks about the bad guys a bit, and actually empathizing with their situation a little bit, which is crazy, right? But it's funny because it actually, her talking about that reminded me a lot about me saying something similar in the very first video I uploaded on here. And that is that the bad guys, I don't think they fully appreciated the consequences of their decision to disconnect from Source in the first place. Because Source, God, is love incarnate, in my opinion at least. And so if you take away God, you take away basically everything good about yourself. You take away your ability to empathize or feel love or joy or any of that shit. And what was interesting about this video I saw was that, like, for the longest time I figured the hell they created for themselves was simply what I just said. That it's like Barbossa says in Pirates of the Caribbean, all the food we ate was like ash in our mouths, and all the pleasurable company didn't do anything for us. Like, basically that life is totally impossible to enjoy, and they can't empathize with anybody, and blah blah blah, because they've just given themselves away to evil 100%, and there's no a possibility for them to go back. But anyway, the speaker in this video basically expanded upon that idea and on how they are so fucked. Talks about how whatever method they used, and I don't want to like delve too much into it myself. I'm gonna just share the link in the description so you can watch yourself, because frankly, when it comes to talking about the origins of the situation and about the galactic beings and blah blah blah, I personally would much rather leave that to, you know, to a Lori Ladd type or something like that, right? I'm just a foolish goofball. But basically the speaker said that when they did their disconnect, when they went into their own universe or whatever the hell happened with that, when they disconnected themselves permanently from Source, it made them immortal like they wanted, but it also stopped them from being able to ascend at all. Like, it cut that off permanently because they got cut off from source. And in order to maintain this pseudo immortality, they have to drain energy from others, right? And I mean, that ought to sound familiar to most of you. They truly are interdimensional vampires. That's just what they are. That's what they've made themselves to become. And so you look at it like, okay, these foolish ass beings decided to break the rules, and they must not have realized that in doing so they've ruined themselves completely. Not only did they lose the empathy and happiness and blah blah blah, but on top of that, their immortality is finite itself, because they're not going to be able to drain energy from others forever. Their would-be victims, us, we will ascend. We never made such foolish choices. So one day we're just going to be beyond their reach, and then they'll be fucked. And what the speaker in the video says, and I wish I knew her name so I wouldn't keep having to say the speaker, but like I said, I'll link the video in the description so you can see herself. But she said that once they do finally run out, they'll implode and be returned to source to be remade anew. And, you know, I can't tell you guys like, oh, hey, I have the proof of this right here. It's all about inner discernment, which we talk about a lot. And the story just resonated with me. So I highly encourage you guys, if you're interested, to check it out and see what you think about it. But, yeah, so, you know, keeping their story in mind, the villains, like, of course, at the end of the day, there is no... We humans can't really find it within ourselves to truly forgive them. I mean, and we probably shouldn't anyway, because they're horrifically, monstrously evil beyond our wildest imaginings with what they do to children especially. But without condoning them, right? Without condoning or condemning, I can see... Like, I'm getting a better understanding of how the villains got to where they are, I guess is what I'm saying. And that kind of, I don't know, helps put things into perspective, I guess. I can see how, it's like Star Wars. It's like the dark side in Star Wars. In Star Wars, for those of you who have lives and aren't fucking nerds, in Star Wars, when someone who is sensitive to the Force, or, you know, the spiritual, indulges in the temptations of the dark side, every time they do it, they actually become more and more and more gradually under the influence of the dark side. They get, like, possessed by this negative energy, which is why eventually their eyes go yellow, the Sith eyes, which is also the same possession eyes that you see in, like, Evil Dead or any exorcism movie, or in all kinds of things. In the Disney video game series Kingdom Hearts, the possessed guys all have the yellow eyes. That's a pretty common theme. But anyway, when someone in Star Wars indulges in this too much, and they get the yellow eyes, right, and they get the super powerful lightning powers and shit like Palpatine, they lose all their empathy. They lose all their ability to empathize with anything, or to, I would argue, to even experience joy or any of that stuff. Now, of course, Palpatine has his maniacal evil laugh in the movies, right? But Is that genuine happiness? Or is he just being a dick, you know? So, I guess another analogy you could say it's like a snowball rolling downhill that eventually grows into a huge ass boulder, right? Like, they started off being just kind of dickish, but once they damned themselves, once they cut themselves off from God and Source and everything that is good and wholesome, they lost their ability to even ever experience being good or empathy or any of that. Like, they've condemned themselves to their evil path, and eventually it'll be their doom. And when you know that you're totally fucked, that no matter what action you take, you can never, like, redemption is truly beyond your grasp, and that at the end of the day you're gonna be eviscerated in this fucking abyss and then reincarnated and forgetting everything you've ever known. I imagine there's real terror in that, you know? So again, absolutely not condoning the vile, horrific, evil shit they do. Absolutely not. I guess the point of me even bringing all this up is that putting this stuff into context makes it a bit easier to free ourselves from anger and resentment we might hold towards them, just because, frankly, you know, all that doesn't serve us, right? Like, I forget the name of the guy, but some guy who was famously imprisoned for years for a crime he never committed said that if you hold on to anger, to hatred, to this desire for revenge, it's just like poisoning yourself every day. It's not, all it does is hurt you, you know? So just putting it into perspective that the poor vampire fools have fucked themselves and they have no possible way of comprehending how we live or think or feel, just makes it a little bit easier, I guess, as their machinations threaten my job. But anyway, I think that's it for me today. God loves you. Thank you all very much for watching. And as always, I highly encourage any comments if you have any. I love the exchanges we get to have and what have you, sharing of knowledge and all that good stuff. And have a beautiful day.